I explored all the latest apps published on the Canva App Marketplace, and this month only 3 caught my attention. Let's check them out. Hey, what's up guys? Ronnie here, your go-to Canva guru. Welcome back to our channel and to our series, Hot New Canva Apps. This is episode 10 already, woo, double digit. And today I have 3 apps to review. This is the best ones for this batch, for this month of July, or almost July, August. So what we are going to do is to jump straight into the first app. The first one is called Text Maker, and the promise is to help you create all kinds of different text effects. So after finding Text Maker and connecting it to my Canva apps right here, you should land on this menu right here. So basically, this is an app to create different kinds of preset text effects, okay? So you have 2 tabs. You have typography and color, all right? And you have your effects right here. So that's the first thing, the first setting you should set. Click on See All to see all of the effect categories. So you will have, the first one is all the effects. So if you click on See All right here, you just see all of them listed as one long list, okay? Or you can use the categories that have been created for you. You have your 3D, gold, comic, graffiti, neon, retro, metal, fire, and tattoo. I'm gonna go with all the effects to have a bird's eye view of what I'm working with here. Let's find one that is pretty cool. I really like the retro one, it's really cool. Landscape kind of gives me the vibe of like old video games. I like the white, it's kind of shiny and I can see some applications for this. I like the wow as well. Highness is great. Golden is pretty cool. Bright also. Ninja, it's quite cool. I could see this for like comics or manga kind of design. So you have a bunch, like greeny is also cool. I like the greeny. Let's use greeny. So I clicked on one and I should get a preview of my text effect right here. So the second thing you should do really is to customize your text, the text you are going to use. And I'm going to make sure I'm inputting all caps text for a better render here. So I'm just going to say something fun like, thanks for watching, exclamation point. Thanks for watching, because yeah, thank you guys for watching our tutorials. We really appreciate you learning with us. All right, so that's the first thing, customizing your text. Okay, thanks for watching. Then you can choose your font. Okay, here we are with Luckiest Guy. I like this name, but you can find other fonts right here. So I don't think these are all of the Canva fonts. Very hard for me to say. You can search for a specific font. For example, if you want to go with impact, for example, just type in impact. It should be here. No, it's not there. So it's definitely not all of the Canva fonts. Montserrat is my Montserrat in the house. Montserrat is here. So you could really change that. Montserrat is not a great looking font for this kind of effect. So I will go back to Luckiest Guy, which I actually liked better. So luckiest, search for that, Luckiest Guy. This works perfect for this design. All right, so that's the second thing you can change, the font. All right, next you have your text alignment, center, left or right. I'm gonna leave that to center. You have your line height. Okay, maybe a little bit less would be great, something like that. Okay, so you can adjust the line height and the letter spacing. I think letter spacing is completely fine at 0 here. So that's pretty much it for the text options. But next, I will obviously want to customize my colors. What I like about this app, it's very complete. It gives you a full array of customization options. So you have your fill colors and you have your outline colors, and then you have shadow and 3D depth colors. So a bunch of different colors that you can tweak in order to make this text effect really personalized. So let me explain to you what are these different options for your colors. The fill colors is the colors that are going to be filling the inside of your letters, of your font. So that's the inside here, so the T, H, A, etc. So this one is usually a gradient that goes from white to slightly gray. So you could have more or less dark of a gray. Usually that's what you will see as the preset coming out of the box for most of the effects. So kind of like almost full white right here, like FFF, you see. And then you have these 3 different bubbles here, like for creating the gradient. So here it was about so. You don't need to have 3. You could work with 2, and that will be completely fine as well. But if you want to add another point, you can double click. You see, double click on the gradient to add a point. So I'm going to double click here and make that different. Like I can bring up the slider here on my spectrum on the line here between black and white. I'm going to just have some light gray. So I have this nice kind of like subtle effect. So it's almost white, but because you have this gradient between white and a light gray, it looks kind of cool. So I'm going to leave it like so. So that's the fill colors. Okay, moving down to see, and you can also play with the gradient direction. Okay, so you see when you move this slider, the light is moving on your gradient, which is interesting as well. Next, you have your outline colors. So the outline colors is what's around your text right here. So you can play with that as well. I'm not going to change it because it actually looks nice like so. Okay, so I'm going to close that. I'm going to close this one as well. Shadow colors. So the shadow color is what's underneath your outline. So you see from white to black. So I could customize this. Like I just want to show you that it's this shadow that you see right there. It used to be black. So I think it looks better in black indeed. I'm going to leave it on black. And then the last one you have is the 3D depth shadow. So that's what's underneath the letters here, I believe. So if you want to change that, feel free to customize that as well. So I feel like this is pretty good. I'm going to go with the green and add this to my design. All right. Once it's added to your design, you can stretch it. The quality is going to remain very good, in my opinion. Thanks for watching. So you could insert that into your design and you are good to go. That's actually how it works. Now, let me quickly show you some of the other text effects that I liked. So for that, I'm going to come back to my typography, click on See All Effects. And I just want to show you one last one that I really like, the retro one right here. So this one will work best with a single word. So maybe we go with subscribe. Yes. And I'm going to change the font from Sail to something kind of like bold and big. I know, I'm going to go with Lobster. Lobster is a nice font for this kind of retro effects. Yes, Lobster. This. Subscribe, Lobster colors. I'm going to change this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 colors. Okay, actually, oh yeah, I know why. I think this word with this kind of effect will work best. Yes, subscribe. It will work best if it's not all caps. Okay, so subscribe. There you go. With Lobster, I'm going to change the color right here. All right, so I need 6 colors, 2, 4, 6. And I have this color palette that I have created, inspired by one of the combinations right here. Okay, so back to my text maker. Oh no, I lost my design. So be careful. I decided to leave this fail in the final version of the video, because if you click out of the app to do something else on another tab, you will lose your design. Just so you know, this is not an ideal kind of like situation when you do lose it, but okay, I can simply subscribe, go back very quick, and then find my retro effect again right here. Okay, subscribe. I need to change it back to Lobster. So you see all of the steps that I lost simply because I clicked on the other tab, like to show you something. All right, so this is where I kind of left it. I have all of my 6 colors. Now I can start filling them up with these colors right here from this palette. Okay, I'm gonna speed up the video, but basically you can do that and simply copy the codes and paste them here. There you go. I have pasted everything. How does it look? Okay, it looks okay, but I could probably change the fill color. I'm going to change the fill for this orange right here. Or I could go with the beige. This could look nice. Let's try that. Okay, so going with the beige. Okay, and I need a different outline. So this outline should probably be this dark gray. Okay, subscribe. It's not too bad, but I feel maybe my fill should be the orange to have a more impactful visual effect. Yeah, this is good. And the outline then could be my beige. Okay, so it's just really up to you to play around with different things right here to really see what works for you, what works for this specific text effect. All right, I think I'm going to leave it here for this first app, Text Maker. There is some very good about this app. I love that you can create easy text effects with these presets. I like the high level of of customization that you get with all the colors, the fonts, the alignment, the line spacing and all that. So really, really good. Some effects are quite nice. I showed you a list of maybe 10 effects that I found really well done in the app. Now, on the negative side, I think that some of the effects are not really that nice. When you click out of the app, you lose all of your design, your text effects. So it could be a little bit cumbersome to go back and recreate it from scratch. And also choosing the font is not super obvious. Like I'm not sure which fonts are part of the package. So that was a little bit of a downside for me. So for all of these reasons, I'm giving TextMaker a 3.5 out of 5 rating. The second app that caught my attention this month is called Tracer. And the promise of Tracer is to convert images into editable SVG easily. Okay, so SVG are vectorized type of files. So this app is interesting. It has a very narrow use case to convert an image, most likely a PNG or maybe a JPEG, into an SVG file, because SVG files are more flexible. You can change their colors, you can stretch them, you can do a few things that you cannot really do with a JPEG or PNG. So let's have a look. Tracer, this is how it looks. A couple of images right here. You see you can convert this into this, etc., etc. So it's already installed in my apps, and the way it looks is very simple. It's actually a one-button interface that says upload or select an image in your design to create an SVG. So you can choose to upload a file and you'll have a maximum file size of 4 megabytes, which is not that big for an image, but you can work with that, or you can select one in your design. So I can immediately see a use case for this, a very specific use case. The use case of you are a graphic designer and you work for clients, and the client gives you their logo in JPEG or in a PNG format, if you're lucky, right? And so you have that logo, let's say you have the logo in black and white, but you wish you could change the color of that logo. So let's use a logo that I have created based on the template. Okay, so this one right here. So chef logo, okay, it has no background. Let me show that to you by adding a solid color behind. Okay, so my chef logo right here has no background. It's a PNG with a transparent background, and I cannot do much with this. So if I want to change the color of this, traditionally you could do that in Canva by using a hack, using the duotone app. Okay, so the duotone right here, you could change the color with the duotone and just play around like so. Okay, that's kind of like the old way. Let me go back a couple of times here. Now this new app, Tracer, kind of saves you the hassle of going through the duotone app. Okay, for this particular use case, like changing the color of a PNG logo. So all you have to do, you select your logo, your image, you go to Tracer, to the app, and you can trace the selected image. You see, when you select an image that is eligible for being vectorized, the logo choose file will change to trace selected image. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to trace that selected image. The image has been traced right here, and I can see that everything is correctly filled up. If not, you could play around with the threshold, and I'm going to show you how that works in a minute. But for now, I'm happy with this. I can just add this to my design. It will be added. A little caveat here is that it doesn't add it at the exact same size. So I kind of have to manually resize this logo. So I want to have the exact same size. So I'm going to pay attention to the marks right here. And now if I have both of these, yeah, they are exactly the same size. So I have my vectorized one right here, and I have the original here. So you see, if I click on the original, there's no color button. Now, if I click on this one, a color button just appeared. That's the magic of Tracer and the vectorized new file. So now I can change that logo to whatever color I wish and I fancy. Now, that is a great hack if you are working for clients and you don't have all of the, I would say, vectorized files of their logos, but you still want to show them their own logo applied to different packaging, for example, or put in different branding situation. That is a great workaround. All right, so that is the first use case. In my opinion, just for that, it deserves my 5-minute review on hot new Canva apps. Now, I tried this with a few other things, like other logos. You see this one logo right here, the Spark Agency logo. It created this one right here. So let me show you how I got there. Okay, so I'm going to start over. So go back. I select select my original logo, which is Spark and then the word agency right underneath. It has three things: text box, a spark, and another text box. But the second text box with very thin fonts. Okay, that's important. Now I'm going to trace the selected image, and you see what you see here is that the word agency has kind of lost in quality because the tracing has been done, I mean, not so well, but the word was written with very thin font. So I could play around with the threshold here and try to see if I can get back part of that word, like if it could come back, if I could maybe augment the threshold. Not really. So as far as I know, this is as close to the original logo I could get. So I'm gonna stretch it again. I wish I could have the image reproduced at the exact same size. So for the thicker fonts, no real problem. Though you see here the dot, like it's not as perfect as the original. And the word agency also kind of problematic. So I would say this app is good as long as you're working with logos that are not so intricate. As soon as you start going into like finer works, detail, like thinner elements on your logo or even thinner fonts, then it becomes problematic. It becomes not as precise. And then you could work with images. Here, what I've done, I have two things here. I have an image of Diana right here. I believe it was one of these images right here. I think it's this one right here. So I worked with that. Okay, I'm gonna move that to the side. I just want to show you briefly what I did here. Again, the tracer app, it's gonna trace the image to convert it into an SVG. This is an original PNG, I believe. So what's going to happen here is that I'm going to have an image which is not completely blacked out. So you see, you can play with the threshold, and the higher the number, the more your image is going to be covered, I would say. But if you lower the threshold, then some parts of Diana's face are going to start showing here. So you see, for example, here I reduced the threshold to 203, and we can see some of Diana's face kind of attributes showing. So it's always better to go higher to make sure everything is covered, unless that's the desired effect you are after. Okay, so you know what, let's go for something quite funky and artistic by lowering the threshold to 114. Okay, let's try that. Add that to my design. Okay, I'm gonna stretch it. There you go. So you can easily create some cool kind of effect like so, and then you can group everything. So yeah, this is my 2 cents about Tracer. Great for working with logos, especially for clients. Can save your butt if you don't have the original SVG file. It's kind of limited for more intricate logos, and also it's limited to 4 megabytes original files, which could be problematic when you work with higher resolution photos. So for all of these reasons, and because it solves a major problem in Canva, working with logos, I give Tracer a 4-star out of 5. And now let's move on to the last of the 3 apps for this week. The last app I'm going to review today is called FontFrame, all right? And the promise here is to create vibrant text with image in the background of these fonts, okay? So this one is pretty fun. I have played around with it for about half an hour, and let me show you what I learned, okay? So this is how it starts, okay? So you can customize your text, all right? So you can write anything you like here. So for example, let's go all caps, love that YouTube channel. Okay, love that YouTube channel. We can split that on 3 pages if we want. If we do, I'm gonna delete the spaces in between everything. Okay, so I'm gonna go for that. And again, you have 2 tabs. You have your image and text settings, and then you have other kinds of settings. Let's focus on the first one. So first you need the text. Okay, so that's what I have here. Love that YouTube channel. Next, you need to choose a file. Okay, so again, you can upload a file, a photo from your computer, or you can select one from your page. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to search for a sunset. So let me go to my elements right here under photos. I'm going to click here and let's go for a jungle. So let's go for a lush jungle. Okay, lush jungle. I need something like lushy, nice. Yeah, let's go for this one right here. This looks like a great forest. Okay, now coming back to FontFrame, and you see I left the tab, came back to it, and I didn't lose all of my work. So it's definitely possible to do these kind of things. And I appreciate that this app doesn't waste your time by just resetting all of the settings if you switch to another tab. So that is highly appreciated. Okay, so I'm going to use a selected image. Okay, this option is now available since I uploaded the image to my page. And you see what I have here is my photo, and I can reposition it by clicking and dragging basically on the image right here. Also, I can scale the image up or down to really focus on one part of the image. If I want to, I could have like the tree in this H and O of the YouTube, for example. So that is in a nutshell what the app does. It creates a word art and it allows you to upload an image as the background of these word art. So that's pretty cool, but that's not all. You can tweak more things. So for example, you can change the font. Okay, so from Poppins, we could go to something else like Railway, for example, or any kind of fonts really that you have here in the list. So let's go for an interesting one, maybe Prompt. Okay, so Prompt is good. You can reduce the thickness of the outline, okay, which is good. I wish we could change the color of this outline, but I don't see an option to do so. So I guess it will just remain black. And then you have your traditional letter spacing, which I wouldn't change, and then line height, line spacing, they call it here. So once you do have the desired outcome, you can add this to your design. Okay, so this is what it looks like. Now, this app can do better than this. I mean, this was just quickly put together. So let me show you a few other things I have done. So starting from this image, I created this very cool textured gradient right here, join our live sessions. And from this sunset right here, I have created this equally cool word art with the sunset right here and the gradient coming from here. So again, this app is called FontFrame. It's super easy to use. It's quite fun to play around with, and you could get some really interesting results. I just wish we could change the color of the outlines. That would really add, I would say, to this app. All right. So that's my 2 cents about FontFrame. My verdict is that I'm giving FontFrame a 4 out of 5 star rating because you can achieve some really cool results with it. And yeah, everyone can use that. I haven't bumped into a limit, like a daily limit, like many other apps do nowadays, which is pretty boring. So there you go, 3 apps worth checking out this month of July, almost August. And I'm going to leave you with the other episodes of Hot New Canva Apps. This was episode 10 already, which means you have 9 more episodes to watch right here.